Hello, everybody, and welcome back to English Practice Today. I'm Ava, and I'll be guiding you through today's session. For those of you who are just joining us, we share a fresh English learning video daily to support you in becoming more articulate and self assured in English. In this session, we're tackling a subject that will genuinely transform how you communicate in English during everyday situations. We're going to look at sophisticated everyday English expressions that fluent speakers incorporate naturally into their dialogue. These are not your standard classroom phrases. They're real world, everyday language that will make you appear articulate, self assured, and truly authentic. You'll improve your comprehension by listening to these expressions in action, and you'll have plenty of chances to work on your pronunciation by echoing my words and using them in authentic scenarios. When this session ends, you'll be more at ease using refined English in informal discussions, in professional settings, among peers, or even when facing unfamiliar circumstances. I'll guide you through every expression, offer practical examples, and teach you the proper timing and usage for each one. So, before we get started, please subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to ensure you don't miss any session that supports your English development. Right now, get yourself a pen, find a notebook, and prepare to advance your English skills. Let's start with an expression that fluent speakers incorporate frequently in daily dialogue. I'm not entirely certain, but this expression works wonderfully when you wish to share a viewpoint but lack complete certainty. It comes across as authentic, gentle, and courteous. As an illustration, rather than stating, I don't know, you might say, I'm not entirely certain, but I believe the meeting begins at 10. This minor adjustment makes your speech more polished and gives you better conversational control. Here's your practice opportunity. Picture a peer asking you about directions to a recently opened coffee shop. You're uncertain, yet you wish to assist. You respond, I'm not entirely certain, but I believe it's close to the train station just opposite the bookstore. Now echo that phrase slowly alongside me. I'm not entirely certain, but I believe it's close to the train station. Expressions like these make your communication feel smoother and more cohesive. Another frequently heard phrase that elevates your English is it slipped my mind. This represents a very authentic method of expressing that something was forgotten. As an illustration, if you neglected to call a friend back, you might say, I apologize sincerely. It completely slipped my mind. It sounds significantly better than simply stating, I forgot. It brings character and demonstrates fluency. Attempt to incorporate this expression in your regular communication. Reflect on an occasion when you overlooked something minor, like returning a book or replying to a message. Practice expressing, I intended to handle it yesterday, but it entirely slipped my mind. These types of expressions breathe life and authenticity into your speech. Let's discuss a practical phrase you can employ when you wish to acknowledge someone's point while indicating you have an additional perspective. That's accurate, but it serves as a gentle and considerate way to present a slightly alternative viewpoint. As an illustration, your coworker mentions remote work offers more comfort. You might respond, that's accurate, but occasionally I find myself missing in-person interactions. This maintains conversational flow and presents you as considerate. Repeat that alongside me. That's accurate, but occasionally I find myself missing in-person interactions. Working with this phrase builds your comfort in everyday exchanges without appearing impolite or overly blunt. Now, here's an expression that appears very commonly in professional or courteous contexts. Would you mind if I? It serves as a courteous method to request permission. Rather than asking, can I open the window? You might say, would you mind if I open the window? Oh, it demonstrates greater respect and proper etiquette. Practice alongside me. Picture yourself in a conference room feeling somewhat warm. You glance at your coworker and ask, "Would you mind if I open the window?" Or when speaking with your friend at their place, you might say, "Would you mind if I borrowed your phone charger briefly?" These kinds of expressions demonstrate that you're not just articulate, but also culturally aware and courteous. Another phrase that enhances your fluency is, "Let's play it by ear." This gets used when plans remain uncertain and you prefer deciding later. As an illustration, if a peer inquires about your park visit timing and you're still uncertain, you might say, "Let's play it by ear." It indicates you'll make the decision later. Based on circumstances, let's work this into a sentence. Picture yourself arranging weekend activities. Your friend asks, "Should we leave at 5 or 6?" You respond, "Let's play it by ear. I could be somewhat exhausted following work." That's an expression that sounds genuinely native and casual. Now let's combine these phrases in a brief practice section. Listen attentively and attempt to echo it following. Yesterday, I had arranged to meet my friend for a meal, but it completely slipped my mind. I felt terrible. I contacted her and explained, "I'm not entirely certain how I overlooked it. It simply slipped my mind." She responded with understanding, saying, "Don't worry, such things occur." Then I asked, "Would you mind if we arranged to meet tomorrow as an alternative?" She consented and mentioned, "Certainly, let's play it by ear based on weather conditions." That brief narrative incorporates four of the expressions we recently covered, all employed in an authentic, articulate manner. Attempt to retell the narrative using your own phrasing to develop your speaking abilities. Let's proceed to another phrase that proves really valuable when offering advice in an informal manner. If I were in your position, this represents a courteous and gentle approach to making a suggestion. Rather than stating you should, which could sound somewhat forceful, you express, "If I were in your position, I'd take a break." It sounds gentler and conveys empathy. Let's practice in unison. Picture your friend feeling overwhelmed about work. You express, "If I were in your position, I'd take a day off for relaxation." It's an excellent method to demonstrate care while still offering guidance. Attempt using it when assisting others or even when considering your own choices. Another sophisticated phrase frequently heard in actual conversations is "to be honest." This phrase allows you to share your genuine viewpoint without seeming rude. As an illustration, if someone inquires about a film and you weren't particularly impressed, you might say, "To be honest, I thought it was somewhat slow." It demonstrates that you're sharing your perspective truthfully yet courteously. Let's attempt another one. Picture your friend preparing a dish and asking your opinion. You might respond, "To be honest, I don't particularly enjoy spicy dishes, but I value the effort." This phrase proves very helpful in numerous conversations, particularly when balancing honesty with kindness. Next comes a phrase that assists when you require additional time for consideration. Let me get back to you on that. This appears commonly in professional environments, formal discussions, or even casual exchanges. As an illustration, if someone requests information you don't currently have, you respond, "Let me get back to you on that." It demonstrates responsibility and intention to follow through. Attempt using this phrase when someone inquires about something requiring verification, such as an event schedule or task completion date. You express, "I'm not entirely certain about the precise timing. Let me get back to you on that." Now let's incorporate some of these phrases into another practice section. Listen attentively and picture the scenario. You're at your workplace and your supervisor inquires if you can accept a new assignment. You're uncertain, so you respond, To be honest, I'm quite occupied currently. Let me get back to you on that. Subsequently, you speak with a colleague and mention, if I were in your position, I'd discuss the workload with the supervisor. Your colleague acknowledges and responds, that's accurate, but we must also satisfy the deadline. That brief interaction includes realistic, articulate speaking with authentic phrases. Practice voicing that aloud. Even better, attempt composing your own brief dialogue, incorporating these expressions. Another fantastic phrase for daily use that demonstrates understanding or solidarity is, I know how you feel. This phrase appears simple, yet it can make exchanges feel more emotional and genuine. As an illustration, if a peer mentions exhaustion from late night work, you might respond, I know how you feel. I've also been up late all week. It creates connection and sympathy. Attempt practicing alongside me. Picture someone expressing, I'm genuinely stressed regarding my examinations. You respond, I know how you feel. I experienced intense anxiety before my tests as well. These brief responses foster connection and reassurance in everyday dialogue. Let's now discover a useful phrase for requesting patience. Bear with me for a moment. This sounds courteous, composed, and professional. It surpasses simply stating, wait a second, which can occasionally sound overly direct. Picture yourself during a phone conversation needing to locate a document. You might say, could you bear with me for a moment while I review my notes? It works perfectly for both professional and casual situations. Attempt it in another scenario. Picture yourself cooking and your friend poses a question. You respond, bear with me for a moment. I simply need to complete chopping these vegetables. Through repetition, phrases like this integrate naturally into your regular vocabulary. A phrase that appears very commonly when something doesn't quite match expectations is, it's not quite what I expected. This allows you to convey disappointment or surprise courteously. As an illustration, if you purchase a new device and it doesn't perform as anticipated, you might express, it's not quite what I expected, but I'll allow it some time. Let's practice another scenario. Picture yourself sampling a new restaurant dish with an unusual taste. You might say, it's not quite what I expected, but it's intriguing. This approach maintains politeness while sharing your genuine reaction. Now, let's review a genuinely useful conversational phrase that reminds me. This serves as an excellent method to naturally transition topics while sounding articulate. As an illustration, if someone mentions something triggering another story or memory, you might say, that reminds me of the occasion I visited the beach and forgot my sunscreen. It flows naturally and smooths your storytelling. Let's attempt it together. A friend mentions, I enjoy swimming, and you respond, that reminds me of my summer vacations at the lake during childhood. It's an enjoyable and simple method to incorporate stories and details into your conversations. Another smooth phrase for practice is, as far as I know. This phrase assists you in sharing information you consider accurate, though you're not completely certain. It proves useful in many circumstances. As an illustration, as far as I know, the store closes at 8 p.m., or as far as I know, she continues working on that assignment. It's an excellent way to speak confidently without appearing to guess. Attempt using it now. Reflect on something you heard recently and express, as far as I know, they're relocating to a new residence next month. You can incorporate this in daily conversations, professional discussions, and even messages. Now let's incorporate all these phrases into a brief story for practice. Listen to this attentively. Your friend mentions, I'm extremely anxious about my job interview tomorrow. You respond, I know how you feel. I recall being incredibly nervous before mine. Then you add, bear with me for a moment. I believe I still possess some notes that could assist your preparation. While searching for the notes, you continue. That reminds me of when I attended without any preparation. It didn't proceed well. Then you mention, as far as I know, the organization appreciates people who pose numerous questions. So demonstrate curiosity. This story sounds authentic and filled with articulate expressions. Echo it aloud or compose your own version using identical phrases. Let's connect this in a daily conversation practice. You encounter a friend at a cafe and mention, I've been extremely busy lately. Work continues nonstop. Your friend responds, yes, I understand. You reply, I visited this peaceful area in the park yesterday simply to clear my thoughts. You understand what I mean? Then you continue, relaxing there was a piece of cake compared to my typical routine. That brief scene incorporates three authentic phrases in a realistic context. Practicing this way will condition your mind to employ these phrases fluently without excessive thinking. Now, let's discover another useful phrase. Let's catch up soon. This expresses what people say when desiring to reconnect or meet again. As an illustration, following an extended conversation with a friend, you might express, it was wonderful talking with you. Let's catch up soon. It's friendly and maintains the connection. Attempt saying this when a conversation concludes. I must leave now, but let's catch up soon, perhaps for a meal next week. You'll encounter this phrase frequently in English-speaking regions. And here's another one demonstrating politeness or composure during disagreements. Let's agree to disagree. It's a peaceful approach to conclude a debate when two individuals hold different viewpoints. As an illustration, you enjoy spicy cuisine. I cannot tolerate it whatsoever. Let's agree to disagree. This phrase proves useful when avoiding arguments while maintaining conversational respect. Attempt it with someone holding different views. You believe summer surpasses other seasons. I favor winter. Let's agree to disagree. It's a mature and articulate way to navigate conversations. Let's now conclude this section with another practice paragraph incorporating today's expressions. Picture this, you're conversing with a colleague. They mention, I believe remote work always proves superior. You respond, let's agree to disagree. I actually prefer the office atmosphere more. Then you add, regardless, I am extremely busy today. Let's catch up soon. This brief exchange sounds smooth, respectful, and articulate. Attempt creating a comparable dialogue in your notebook and voice it aloud several times. Let's now examine another fantastic expression employed in both casual and professional conversations. Let me sleep on it. This indicates you require some time for consideration before reaching a decision. It's courteous and demonstrates you approach decisions seriously. Picture someone presenting a new employment opportunity and you're uncertain about immediate acceptance. You might say, thanks for the opportunity. Let me sleep on it and I'll respond tomorrow. Let's attempt another one. Your friend inquires if you'd like joining a weekend excursion. You might respond, sounds enjoyable, but let me sleep on it before confirming. It's a phrase demonstrating thoughtfulness and providing space for reflection before responding. Another expression adding a native quality to your English is, I'm not sure off the top of my head. This indicates you don't possess the answer currently, but you might recall it with a moment's consideration. It's more authentic than simply stating, I don't know. As an illustration, if someone asks, do you recall John's telephone number? You might respond, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I can verify my contacts. Or if someone inquires, what's Switzerland's capital? And you forget, you express, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I believe it's burn. Employing phrases like this makes your English sound more casual and articulate. Now, here's a very commonly employed conversational phrase. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. It indicates you're hoping for a positive outcome. You'll frequently hear it when someone awaits news or results. As an illustration, I submitted a scholarship application and I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Or she has an important examination tomorrow, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed for her. This phrase incorporates warmth and emotion into your speech. Attempt using it now. Consider something you're anticipating and express, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that everything proceeds well. Echo it several times and you'll begin using it naturally. Here's another phrase proving useful when someone interrupts or rushes you. Hold your horses. This expression indicates wait a moment or slow down. It's somewhat playful and friendly, functioning well with friends or family. As an illustration, if your younger sibling continues requesting playtime while you're cooking, you might say, "Well, hold your horses. I'll complete this in 5 minutes." Or when someone demonstrates impatience, hold your horses. We haven't even departed the house yet. Practice with a pretend conversation. Are we departing now? Are we? Are we? Hold your horses. I must retrieve my phone first. It incorporates humor and lightness into everyday speech. Let's pause momentarily to practice a dialogue using these recent phrases. Picture yourself talking with your coworker. They inquire, have you decided regarding the new assignment? You respond, not yet. Let me sleep on it, and I'll inform you tomorrow. Then they ask, do you know if the budget received approval? You answer, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I'll verify with finance. Before departing, you both express, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the project approval. And as your supervisor rushes you for a report, you mention quietly to your friend, hold your horses, I'm working on it. This scene sounds articulate and realistic. Employ similar ones for regular practice. Let's include another expression that's useful when sharing your viewpoint gently. If you ask me, this phrase makes your opinion sound courteous and less assertive. As an illustration, if you ask me, that film was somewhat lengthy, or if you ask me, we should begin the meeting earlier. It's gentler than stating I think or we must. Attempt using it in a daily context. You're discussing food delivery and you mention, if you ask me, the new establishment has superior service, it key. Employ this phrase when offering suggestions or feedback to maintain your tone respectful. Another good phrase for sharing your perspective is to be honest. This makes your speech sound sincere. It's helpful when expressing something important or different from others' expectations. As an illustration, to be honest, I didn't appreciate the concert as much as anticipated. Or to be honest, I'd prefer staying home than going out tonight. Simply ensure using it kindly so it doesn't sound overly harsh. Here's one to attempt. To be honest, I believe we should reschedule the trip due to weather conditions. This phrase brings clarity and openness into your conversations. Now let's incorporate both these expressions into a mini story. You're chatting with a friend regarding a recent film. You mention, if you ask me, the performances were excellent, but the storyline was weak. Your friend nods and you continue, you to be honest, I nearly dozed off midway through. This example demonstrates how these phrases make your opinion sound authentic and friendly. Employ these structures when reviewing items or providing feedback in daily life. Let's now discover a phrase that assists ending a conversation courteously. I won't keep you. You can employ it when saying farewell or concluding a call. As an illustration, I know you're occupied, so I won't keep you. Talk to you later. It's a smooth method to respect someone's time. Another example, you probably have responsibilities, so I won't keep you. Take care, attempt. Saying this following an extended chat, great catching up with you. I won't keep you. Enjoy your remaining day. This maintains the tone professional yet kind. And here's a very casual phrase people employ when desiring to be honest yet still friendly. Just saying. This appears at a statement's end and softens criticism or humor. As an illustration, that shirt appears somewhat old. Just saying. Or perhaps you should verify your presentation again. Just saying. It can be humorous or slightly cheeky, so employ it with people you know. Well, let's attempt one. You mention you insistently forget your umbrella on rainy days. Just saying, it incorporates a playful quality to comments. Let's now practice with a scenario. Picture your friend telling you an extended story, and you realize it's their departure time. You mention, this has been excellent, but I won't keep you. Then you add, you genuinely should try that new burger establishment. It's amazing, just saying. It's casual and friendly. Compose your own brief conversation with these two phrases and read it aloud to make it feel realistic. Another useful expression demonstrating care or understanding is take your time. This represents a courteous method to inform someone they needn't rush. You can employ it when someone searches for something or feels pressured. As an illustration, take your time. There's no urgency, or take your time with the decision. It's significant. Picture someone feeling nervous during a presentation and you mention, take your time, you're performing fine. This phrase incorporates calm and demonstrates support. Finally, in this section, let's review, it's not the end of the world. This serves as an excellent phrase to comfort someone following a minor mistake or disappointment. It indicates that the problem isn't as severe as perceived. As an illustration, you missed the bus. Don't worry, it's not the end of the world, or you forgot your password again. It's not the end of the world. Simply reset it. It assists maintaining perspective and incorporates kindness into your tone. Practice it now. I spilled coffee on my shirt, but hey, it's not the end of the world. Echo it until it feels simple to express. Let's bring these together in another conversation practice. Your friend mentions, I forgot to reserve the tickets. And you respond, take your time. We can explore other alternatives and it's not the end of the world. Then, as they begin apologizing excessively, you add with a smile. Relax, just saying. These phrases demonstrate calm, control, and fluency. Attempt to compose your own version and voice it aloud. The more you practice in context, the faster you'll develop natural fluency. Let's explore a very commonly employed phrase that assists you in agreeing with someone while incorporating your own perspectives. You can say that again. This phrase gets used when you strongly agree with someone. As an illustration, if someone mentions, this weather is simply perfect, you might respond, you can say that again. It indicates you feel precisely the same way. Another example could be, she's such a gifted singer. You respond with, you can say that again. It adds emphasis to your agreement and maintains the conversation lively. Attempt to consider a few statements you strongly agree with and respond by expressing, you can say that again. Now let's discover a useful phrase for providing updates or discussing progress. So far, so good. You employ this when things are proceeding well up to the present moment. As an illustration, if someone inquires, how's the new position? And things are fine, that you might say, so far, so good. Or when someone asks, how's your assignment progressing? You respond, so far, so good. I completed most of the work. It's a brief, simple method to demonstrate that everything is proceeding well. Practice using it in different contexts. How's your weekend? So far, so good. How's your flu recovery? So far, so good. The phrase is practical and positive. Now, let's discover a smart method to express that something is very simple. It's a piece of cake. This idiom frequently gets used to describe tasks that are simple or effortless. As an illustration, if someone inquires, "Was the test difficult?" you might respond, "No, it was a piece of cake." Or, "How was your driving examination?" "It was a piece of cake." Employ it when demonstrating confidence or encouraging someone. You might say, "Well, don't worry about the interview, it'll be a piece of cake." Attempt it yourself now. Consider something you're skilled at and express, "For me, it's a piece of cake." Let's practice a brief dialogue with all these phrases. Picture a conversation between two friends. One mentions, "This weather is so pleasant today." The other responds, "You can say that again." Then the first one inquires, "How's your new fitness routine going?" So far, so good. It's actually a piece of cake compared to my expectations. These kinds of conversations will assist you using phrases in real life. Create your own example and attempt speaking it aloud to build your fluency. Here's another useful expression for polite disagreement or pointing out a mistake without seeming rude. "I see your point," but this phrase assists you in disagreeing respectfully. As an illustration, "I see your point, but I believe we should wait before reaching a decision." Or, "I see your point, but there's another perspective to consider." It allows you to demonstrate understanding while expressing your own opinion. Practice it now. Consider a topic and create two opposing views. Respond with, "I see your point, but," and complete your sentence. Next, we'll examine a fun and expressive method to express something surprised or unexpected occurred. Out of the blue. This indicates something happened suddenly or without warning. As an illustration, he contacted me out of the blue after 3 years, or she appeared out of the blue and surprised everyone. It incorporates excitement and color into your storytelling. Attempt to recall a moment that occurred unexpectedly in your life. Now describe it using out of the blue. As an illustration, I received a job offer out of the blue. This assists making your stories more engaging. Let's incorporate these two phrases together in a conversation. Picture two coworkers talking. One mentions, "The client changed their perspective out of the blue." The other responds, "I see your point, but perhaps it's for the better." This kind of interaction sounds articulate and polished. Employ this structure to build confidence in your conversations. Practice brief back and forths using these phrases with a friend or by recording yourself. Let's review another important expression. "It's not my cup of tea." This phrase indicates something isn't to your taste or not something you appreciate. As an illustration, I know horror films are popular, but they're not my cup of tea. Or dancing in clubs is not my cup of tea. I prefer quiet cafes. It's a courteous method to express you don't enjoy something without sounding overly negative. Attempt using it now. Consider an activity or food you don't enjoy. Express, "It's not my cup of tea." It sounds much more authentic than stating, "I don't like it." Another excellent expression for demonstrating something is very important or central to you is, "It means the world to me." You employ this when something or someone is extremely valuable to you. As an illustration, "Your support means the world to me," or "Spending time with my family means the world to me." It incorporates emotion and depth into your words. Consider something that matters deeply to you. Now express it using this phrase. "Assisting others learning English means the world to me." Express it several times to feel its emotional impact. Let's now incorporate both of these phrases in one scenario. Picture you're speaking with a friend who suggests attending a loud concert, and you mention, honestly, loud concerts are not my cup of tea. Then your friend responds, okay, no problem. Let's do something else. You smile and respond, thanks for understanding. It means the world to me. This type of gentle conversation builds trust and fluency. Practice similar exchanges to improve at soft disagreement and emotional expression. Let's add another practical phrase. It's a long story. This proves useful when you don't wish to explain something in detail or when something complicated occurred. As an illustration, if someone inquires, why did you leave your position? And you're not prepared to share, you might say, it's a long story. Or if someone asks, why aren't you speaking to Alex anymore? You respond, it's a long story. It saves you from needing to provide details. Employ this phrase when the situation is complicated or private. It assists managing the conversation's flow. Let's also explore a positive phrase. Better late than never. This represents a method to express it's beneficial to do something, even if delayed. As an illustration, he finally apologized. Better late than never. Or, I began exercising at 40. Better late than never. It's encouraging and supportive, particularly for people starting new habits or making improvements. Consider a moment when you did something late but still felt positive about it. Now, express better late than never. Attempt using it in conversations with friends who are concerned about being too late to attempt something. Here's a scenario to practice with both of these phrases. You see someone arriving late to a party and they mention, sorry I'm late. You smile and respond, it's okay. Better late than never. Then they inquire why you came alone, and you respond, it's a long story. This makes the conversation friendly and smooth without awkwardness. Continue practicing these kinds of realistic situations to develop natural fluency. Let's continue with another useful expression that's excellent for demonstrating appreciation or agreement in a courteous and humble manner. I couldn't agree more. This represents a stronger method of stating I agree with you. You employ it when you absolutely agree with what someone just expressed. As an illustration, if a friend mentions, learning English has genuinely transformed my life to you might respond, Arik, I couldn't agree more. Or if someone mentions, being kind to others always pays off, you might respond, I couldn't agree more. It's simple, but very effective. Practice. Now consider a statement you strongly agree with and express. I couldn't agree more. Another phrase frequently employed in daily conversation is by all means. It indicates certainly or go ahead. You can employ it when granting someone permission or encouraging them to do something. As an illustration, if someone inquires, can I borrow your pen? You might respond, by all means, or do you mind if I pose a question? By all means. It sounds courteous, professional, and confident. Attempt using it in different situations. Picture someone asking, can I join you for a meal? You respond, by all means. It's excellent for making your English sound more polished. Now let's explore a phrase that assists you in changing topics or returning to a previous topic. Anyway, as I was saying, this phrase proves perfect when someone interrupts you or if the conversation has veered off track and you wish to return to your original point. As an illustration, anyway, as I was saying, we should plan our assignment before the meeting, or anyway, as I was saying, it's genuinely important to practice English every day. It's useful in conversations, meetings, and even storytelling. Attempt to picture you are telling a story, someone interrupts you, and then you return to your point using anyway, as I was saying. Let's combine these three phrases in a practice conversation. Picture two colleagues talking. One mentions speaking courteously in English genuinely makes a difference. The other responds, I couldn't agree more. Then the first one inquires, can I use your notebook briefly by all means? After a brief distraction, the speaker mentions, anyway, as I was saying, learning phrases like these assists significantly. And finally, I'm all ears. This indicates you are listening attentively and providing someone your complete attention. As an illustration, if your friend mentions, I need to tell you something significant, you might respond, I'm all ears. It's a friendly method to demonstrate you care about what the other person is expressing. Another example, I've got an excellent story to share. And you respond, I'm all ears. Employ this phrase to build trust and positive communication. Consider a time someone was about to tell you something interesting and picture expressing, I'm all ears. Now, let's examine a phrase for sharing your opinion gently. If you ask me, this represents a soft method of expressing your personal opinion. As an illustration, if you ask me, daily practice is the optimal method to improve your English. Or if you ask me, she handled the situation very well. It incorporates a courteous and authentic tone to your speech. Practice now. Consider something you believe strongly and express, if you ask me, and complete your thought. It can assist making your speech sound more thoughtful and mature. Another phrase you should incorporate into your daily English is, the ball is in your court. This indicates that it's someone else's turn to reach a decision or take action. As an illustration, I've provided you all the details. Now the ball is in your court. Or I apologized, now the ball is in her court. This phrase frequently gets employed in professional and personal conversations. Attempt using it in a situation where you've completed your part and now someone else needs to act. Express, I've completed my part. Now the ball is in your court. It's an excellent method to express responsibility clearly. Let's do a practice conversation. A friend mentions, I've been considering joining the English speaking club. You respond, if you ask me, you should proceed with it. It'll assist significantly. Then you add, but now the ball is in your court. Later, your friend wishes to share something and you mention, I'm all ears. This kind of dialogue flows smoothly and naturally using sophisticated but common phrases. Practicing this way will assist your realistic conversations feeling simple and articulate. Next, let's discover the phrase, let's call it a day. You employ this when you wish to end an activity because sufficient has been accomplished. As an illustration, following an extended study session, you might express, I'm exhausted. Let's call it a day. Or in a meeting, we've made good progress. Let's call it a day. It's informal and very common. Attempt using it at any task's end. Consider something you completed today and express, let's call it a day. This demonstrates natural timing in conversation. Another phrase to demonstrate curiosity is, what's the catch? You employ this when something appears too beneficial to be true and you wish to know the hidden problem. As an illustration, they're offering complimentary laptops. What's the catch? Or you're telling me this course is completely free. What's the catch? It's useful in realistic situations where you wish to question something courteously. Practice it now. Consider a deal or offer that sounds amazing. Then express, what's the catch? It incorporates realism and caution into your speech. One more expression for today is, I'm not sure I follow. This indicates you don't completely understand what someone just expressed. As an illustration, in a meeting, if someone explains something complicated, you might courteously say, I'm not sure I follow. Could you explain that again? Or in a conversation, I'm not sure I follow. What do you mean by that? It demonstrates that you are paying attention and wish to understand better. Practice it by pretending you heard something unclear and responding, I'm not sure I follow. Let's end with a practice scene. Picture you're talking with someone offering you a complimentary trial course. You mention, that sounds amazing. What's the catch? Then they explain some complicated rules. You respond, I'm not sure I follow. Can you repeat that? At the end, you mention, okay, I've heard sufficient for today. Let's call it a day. Practicing realistic dialogue like this is how fluency becomes second nature. These were just some of the numerous sophisticated phrases that you can employ every day to speak more articulately, sound more authentic, and build confidence in English conversations. Learning these expressions isn't just about memorizing words, it's about practicing them in context. That's why we employed realistic examples, mini conversations, and practice exercises. The more you listen, speak, and think in English, the more automatic these phrases will become. Make sure to practice aloud, compose your own examples, and employ these phrases whenever you get the opportunity. So continue practicing and continue using these phrases in your daily life. Remember, fluency doesn't arrive overnight, but with daily effort and smart learning like this, you'll reach your goals faster. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the notification bell so you never miss a new session. We share English learning videos every day to assist you speaking better, sounding more authentic, and feeling more confident. Stay tuned for more sessions and don't forget to practice what you've learned today. Until next time, happy learning and keep speaking English with confidence.